Busters, it's RipperJack here from Final Regiment. That's right, the most awesomest clan in the world, Final Regiment. This is RipperJack. I'm about to attack, and dang, I don't have any witches, bitches. Okay, apparently I'm being detained. Oh, okay, they're going. I'm being detained for investigation. What crime do you suspect me of committing? What crime do you suspect me of committing? Okay, I'm not being suspected of a crime. I'm just being held for investigation. Am I free to go? Okay, I'm free to go now. So I'm going to go ahead and go.
Lots of people are wondering these days, who is RipperJack? RipperJack Gaming, RipperJack Media.
His real name is John L. Smith. We had his full name in the original version of this video, but Mr. Smith had it taken down, apparently because we used his middle name. Well, you can look that up yourself. However, we included his middle name, and we think we can include his middle name because he's a public figure, because he goes by so many different names and has a generic name. John Smith, Jack Smith, Johnny Smith. His clients need to be able to know exactly who he is and look up his public records. That's why we included it, not to dox Mr. Smith. He can dox himself. If we wanted to dox Mr. Smith, we would have included his mugshot.
What we know about John Smith is that after he watched Tiger King, the original, he contacted the family of Don Lewis and then started a Facebook group, which became quite popular. They obtained and exchanged information. In a text message dated April 12, 2020, RipperJack claims he called Carol Baskin's personal voicemail yesterday and left her a message, playing dumb, LOL. I said, I watch your videos, but there's a guy named RipperJack Gaming that has a piece of paper of yours and saying bad things about you on YouTube. Haha.
Mr. Smith's strategy very early on was to use fake email addresses, pretending to be somebody else in phone calls, using sock accounts, basically committing fraud during an investigation by contacting the opposing party. No attorney is allowed to do that. No attorney is allowed to solicit their clients. Even worse, or more hilarious, Mr. Smith called Carol Baskin to say that RipperJack Gaming was somebody she should be afraid of. She shouldn't.
He then goes on to say that he had a 90-minute interview with Rebecca Chaiklin, one of the producers of Tiger King. He said Chaiklin was pretty impressed with the work of the group. She sent one of the co-producers to join. As things progress, RipperJack Media had a bit of a falling out with his group. This started around July. In July of 2020, he wrote his friends, full disclosure, I got an email from Rebecca and her Article 19 company wanting to use my clips, his YouTube videos he was recording. She's asking for me to sign a release to release my videos I've made to her. I also made videos that I don't publish on the channel, normally before and after a meeting or after a long day. I told her they could use them. I don't mind, but she responded that they would want to send over an offer for a clip release agreement. I'm on the fence about it, sorta, Mr. Smith said. I have a lot of footage.
By August, the amateur group of Facebook investigators were starting to show their inexperience. TK supplied Kratom and Coke, I guess, said one. In another message, I know they paid hotel while he was there. Other than that, I don't know of anything else. I know what they were doing after hours, him and Daniel, by September. I'm afraid Rebecca has caught Ripper on video doing things I know he was doing with Daniel, the cameraman, and I think she will put it in season 2. When I found out about her hidden mics, that's why I had nothing to do with them after hours. Instead, again, this is exactly why I won't be in part 2. Rebecca told me about microphones and cameras hidden in keychains and shit, and I was like, fuck no, I'm out. Ripper partied with them after filming, so who knows what footage they have.
There was some talk in the core group about me having some big TV deal or whatever.
I hope this stays with us three, but yeah, I am being totally blown off here in Tampa. Not by the family, of course, or by Ann or anyone. Definitely being blown off by Ripper. I've got some weird vibes going on. And I was told today from a couple of people that they fully believe that Netflix and Rebecca are 100% using Ripper to get interviews with people that they have burned their bridges with. There are people that have spoken that think that Rebecca Netflix will totally flip, the series. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't really see how they could when we've done all the work.
And here's what I said. I'll just put this out there because this is how I feel, and I want to make sure you all understand why I've said certain things. I can love that family and at the same time want the Facebook group to get credit for solving the case.
So I'm supposed to whip up an email later for Donna, but I'm going to ask Donna about it, and I'm going to get to the bottom of this because I am not going to be played for a fool, and I am not going to be fucked over for nobody. I'm just not going to be duped. It's just not right. I'm so salty about it.
And on top of that, I can also want the four of us to be set for life for solving the case. I can want all of those things, and it doesn't matter because what I want all of those things, because I want all of those things doesn't mean I care for the case any less.
Because this isn't just a Ripper thing. This is a us four thing. And, we're not all sitting on 65 acres. And if an opportunity came for some of us to make some money while we're doing this work, why would you not discuss that with us? So, I got issues, but I don't have any issues that would, break up the band or anything. And I was pretty, there was one day while I was down there where I got attitude with him because anytime I'd go to talk or say anything, he would cut me off or basically tell me what I can and can't talk about. And I'm like, we're with the family. I'm not keeping secrets from the family.
Then I said, I would love for us to solve it and get each of us and all our kids set for life while we continue to help people who need help. There's not anything wrong with wanting all of that. And like I said, it doesn't mean we are working on the case for the wrong reasons. I know why the three of you have been working.
Let us find out we have done all the work and all the research, and he's over there getting paid under the table by Rebecca. I will fucking burn them down, I swear to God.
I know why the three of you have been working on cases, and it's for the right reasons, same as me. Like I said, I would love for the four of us to be able to do this on a bigger level without the struggles of scraping by and being limited.
But anyways, I've learned some things today that I didn't know, that we don't know, even though this is our fucking group and it's supposed to be the four of us as a goddamn team. I'm fucking furious right now, I'll just say that.
Like I said, it doesn't mean we aren't doing it for the wrong reasons. It's just an opportunity for us to help a lot more people if it could happen.
But saying that last part about I'm just going to do like I did the Avery case and walk away from all this. Well, okay, that's fine. I mean, if you want to pull some fucking Britney-ass bullshit, go ahead. I mean, if you want to do that to the family, go ahead. I'm not down with that. I'm not doing that. But at the same time, I'm also not out here worried about what the fuck Netflix is looking at, what I say. I get that things are going on or whatever, and he keeps claiming that we're going to get a deal out of this, a show and all that. I've seen nothing to support that or whatever. And my thing is I'm not getting paid by nobody. I'm going to be me, and that's it. If you don't like me, keep it moving, because I've been me since I joined this community, and I'm going to be me, throughout the duration. I'm not changing, so...
But that's not what I said at all. But that's what they're saying. They've said, well, he already told us in a private chat that he wanted a big TV deal when this was all over. Well, that's not what I said. What I said is the four of us. And I've told producers that have called me, when this is done, I said, if anybody makes me any offers, I said, my people, my inner core people and some of these outer core, inner core people are going to have to be involved. So they're going to have to be set up too. Now, someone's taken that and they've told somebody that I've said I wanted a big TV deal.
After several months, Don Lewis's family searched for and hired an attorney. Mr. Smith privately messaged about the role of that attorney. He said to his group, I can love that family and at the same time want the Facebook group to get credit for solving the case. And on top of that, I can also want the four of us to be set for life solving the case. I can want all of those things, and it doesn't matter. Because I want all of those things doesn't mean I care any less. I care for the case any less. I would love for us to solve it and get each of us and our kids set for life. At a point, the relationship between the client, Don Lewis's daughters, particularly Donna Pettis, and Mr. Smith, Facebook investigator, and the attorney, me, John Phillips, became conflicted. Mr. Smith was messaging his friends behind Miss Pettis and Mr. Phillips' back. He said, Donna said, John said, when Ripper gets here next week, I'll get his information and have this thing solved. Someone responded, he may have more cred pull with the legal system than some of our armchairs do. Mr. Smith replied, I'm telling you, we need to be careful. When we solve this, they'll make a movie about us four. It needs to be about us four, not anyone else taking credit for our work and our group. Donna is very, very nice, Mr. Smith said, and gullible. And if she is warning me, then she knows a lot more than she's telling me. One of his friends said, I respectfully disagree. This is not about us, but about Don. I don't give it a shit about Netflix, Tiger King 2, or a show. If that happens, fine. But this is about solving Don's disappearance. Mr. Smith responded, and we can disagree, of course, but people taking credit for our work isn't fair.
By the end of 2020, you can see all of the problems Mr. Smith was facing. He wanted to obtain credit. He wanted a future business deal out of solving the mystery of Don Lewis. He wanted to be set for life. His client was telling him the attorney felt confident in the case. And then there's the concerns related to Netflix and what had they filmed him doing. What did he do? He started sowing seeds of doubt, both within the group and to the client, about who Mr. Phillips was working with. There might be a rumor that John Phillips is working with Discovery ID and Dakota Michaels. Donna might be having a conversation with us about it. There was no rumor. Mr. Phillips, me, never worked with Discovery ID. Doesn't know who, to this day, Dakota Michaels is. Mr. Smith was good at sowing seeds of doubt, and he was good at dealing with the person he called gullible.
I think I got salty too yesterday because when we drove out to Kenny's and I was in the back seat with Rebecca riding out there, because it was 2 hours away to Orlando. I was talking about Tammy Roynon, whose dad owned that truck car sales place right next to the shop or the office. And I said, yeah, but I think she's money hungry because I told her that Crime Stoppers was the only one that had a reward or whatever. And then Rebecca just was like, oh my gosh, what do y'all think about a reward? So she was asking me if I could literally call Kathleen Zellner and ask how she set it up for Steven and all this, and Ripper was too, and I was about to call her, and she was like, wait, and so we sat there for a good couple hours, and they're going to put up a reward.
Billboards have gone up in the Tampa area that say who murdered Don Lewis. $100,000 reward, and there's a number for the tip line. I'll take some pictures of one of the billboards later, and I'll post it on this channel. Also, if you didn't notice, on Friday there was an announcement by a law firm. There's an attorney by the name of John Phillips who has decided to represent Sweet Anne McQueen and the 3 daughters of Don Lewis. All you got to do is go on YouTube and look up John Phillips attorney, and it'll be the first video on there. And then there's other videos you can watch about him as well. He's a high-profile attorney. He's a good guy. He has a heart, and that's exactly what this family needs. Do I think it's solved? Oh, yeah. Absolutely. We have everything needed.
One other thing that we know is there's never been transparency about the reward, the $100,000 reward. There's never been transparency as to who's paying it or what's required to collect it. I asked and was never told. What we do know is Tiger King producers made in excess of $10 million selling this film to Netflix. What we do know is Eric Goode, Rebecca Chaiklin, and the other producers created something called a documentary that didn't document facts as much as it created them or hid them. What we also know is that the Tiger King producers were very good about pretending they were paying licensing fees or providing cell phones for camera usage, but really were paying for people to play in their motion picture. What Mr. Smith doesn't understand is you don't get set for life financially by elbowing people with more experience out of the way. Of course, as he notes in his video, he also claims he has Don Lewis's case solved. Well, why is that? Why would he lie? Mr. Smith lies about quite a bit. He says in one post, like I've said in my videos, no TV deals. Nobody is paying me unless you count my YouTube ads. But those were there long before the case started. As Donna said in my comments of my video the other day, the family has been working with Netflix for 3 years now, and they are very appreciative of the exposure they have brought to her dad's case. During my very brief time with the family, we pointed out that only Netflix, Tiger King, Eric Goode, Rebecca Chaiklin were trying to dig up Don Lewis's sordid past, trying to make him look bad. Why? Because ultimately Tiger King was going to Tiger King. It's not a real documentary. It's a sensational mess. But that sensational mess was paying licensing fees and binding people to contracts. Common sense existed within Mr. Smith's group. However, sometimes it was fleeting. His ally, Nosy Wren, once said, "You've got this. Donna is Ripper's puppet, and he is Rebecca's puppet. Lost causes." While shooting stories which may make her dad seem like a predator and mobster, while selling it as justice, I said. So I've been learning. I didn't trust Rebecca from when I met her in June. She didn't like the fact she could buy me off to be on camera. I have other cases that rely on my identity staying unknown, and she couldn't have cared less about that. That's why she snubbed me in August. She thought that giving me a $2,000 iPhone would help encourage me to play along. So guess who got the new iPhone for nothing?
Yeah, I know all about that, and I can't even begin to explain the level of what my favorite woman attorney out there, Kathleen Zellner, says is silent rage. We did not agree with it. I am so glad Ann did not fall for the BS. Tina and myself, we personally reached out to Donna and we explained everything that had come to light. But she did not agree with us, and she supports Ripper. So I was like, okay, well, that's you. So whatever, we're still going to help, figure out what happened to Don. But yeah, I'll never forget this either. I thought he was my friend, and yeah, I thought we were friends.
But like everything with Tiger King, it gets far, far worse. In messages sent to us, we saw, he wanted me to stay with him, but I was like, fuck no, especially after he offered me coke. I take great offense to people offering me drugs, but do you fucking assume I'm down with that shit? Supposedly that's from Nosy back in September. I'm afraid Rebecca has caught Ripper on video doing things I know he was doing with Daniel, the cameraman, and I think she will put it in season 2.
This dude eats kratom like I know he's in pain and he does have a pretty bad hit, but that's got to be an expensive thing for him because he takes that kratom like no other. So I don't know. And what's weird is me being here, like as soon as we're done for the day, we go our separate ways. Like I ain't been hanging out with him. He's been hanging out with Rebecca and them at their hotel. And I'm like, see, that's how the fuck you're going to get caught up on camera because they've been getting drunk every night and I'm sure doing some other extracurricular activities. But yeah, I'm not down with that shit. So I've been doing my own thing.
Is it true? Does it even matter? The fact that statements could be made about someone doing cocaine with a film crew is absolutely outrageous.
They want to actually talk to the family lawyer. They want to talk to somebody real, not that sits in a gaming chair and makes YouTube videos. I'd like to say everything worked out for the best, but I don't know that it will because I don't trust him.
John had asked me when we were in Florida, he asked me, why do you do this stuff? And I told him about my ordeal and my court stuff and said I went through a bad divorce. I said it took me 4.5 years. I gave him details of what happened. I said, but at the end of everything, I got the parenting time and the custody split right up the middle with my ex-wife. I said, and the charges that were brought against me, they had to dismiss them or drop them. But I had 3 telephone harassment charges that I took because my attorney said, he goes, look, I think he had good reason for doing it because you felt like your daughter's lives were in danger. He said, but under the law, because you called her once and she hung up and said, don't bother her or whatever. You called her back 3 more times. He's like, under the law, he said, you're probably guilty of it. I had gotten charged with like a criminal threat thing. It was like a felony. It was serious. And it was right in the middle of my divorce. But I had told Phillips all of that. And he knows that the charges were dropped.
That is one of many categorical lies. It was only after all of this escalated that I researched John Smith. It started with case number 07CV8902, Kelly D. Smith versus John, Jack, L. Smith from Kansas. It was a petition for protection from abuse, much like what Don Lewis filed on Carol Baskin. It was filed November 8, 2007. The petition is several pages. It says, describe generally the facts about which you are seeking a protection from abuse order. Defendant made numerous threats about killing me and then killing himself, and that he would break down my door to come get me, or go to my work and kill me, or anyone who got in his way. Threatened to slit my throat, watch me bleed, put a bullet in my head several times. My kids don't need me in their life and didn't need their parents. He wanted to put me 7 feet under, threatened me to not file a protective order. Or he would come and fucking kill me. In fact, he's sure I will file a PFA. And he would be on his way over now to come put a bullet in my head and then blow himself away. No alarm or police would ever save me from him. If you fuck me one more time, I swear on my children, I will fucking kill you. He harasses me constantly through text messaging. He has sent me 60 to 70 texts after a weekend when he doesn't know what I'm doing. He sent me 42 texts after he found out last week that I had scheduled an appointment with my lawyer. In June, he indirectly threatened me that if he wanted to kill me, I would already be dead. Look, those are far worse than the things said about Carol Baskin by Don Lewis. But that wasn't the only one. In 2015 in Oklahoma, Penny K. Smith sought a petition for protective order against John L. Smith. February 9, 2015. On February 8, 2015, approximately 10:15, on the evening of February 8, 2015, I was in bed reading. My husband, who had been drinking since the afternoon, came into our room and got his pistol from his nightstand and had the gun to his head and in his mouth to the gun jammed up. And I had ran after him, telling him, "Please stop, Johnny. Don't do this." He said, "Fuck you, motherfucker." He came back into the bedroom and was trying to get the gun, a .22 Beretta. It jammed. I went to the kitchen to hide my gun that I carry in my purse. I hid it in the lower cabinet, but took my purse back into the bedroom so he would think my purse had my gun to buy some time. While in the bedroom, he was in the closet looking for a different magazine for the .22. I saw the original clip on the floor and picked it up and ran outside the front of the house and threw it on the carport. I came back into the house to try and hide the .22 rifle from him as well. I had the case, gun. He came and tried to get the gun case from me, telling me there was nothing I could do to stop him. He was calling me a fucking bitch, saying God wouldn't help me. He scuffled while I was trying to hang on to the gun case. He put his legs around my midsection and squeezed and put his hands on my neck and continued to squeeze with his leg until the pain and fear was such I couldn't hang on anymore. His voice changed and he was yelling, "God can't help you. God can't help me. There is no God. Jesus of Nazareth is dead. They found his bones." I was saying, "Jesus, God help us." He was laughing and saying, "I have Satan and all the demons in hell behind me." I said, "Think about your girls." He said, "I don't give a fuck about those girls. I don't give a fuck about anyone. I don't want to be here." He got the .22 rifle from the case and put it in his mouth. I was pleading and crying, telling him, "Just stop. Please, baby, stop. Don't do this." I tried to get the gun from him. He said he'd shoot me and shoot himself. He got me in the scissor hold around my waist with his legs and again, and was squeezing while he had my head between his legs again, was squeezing while he had my head between his legs. He said so I could watch him blow his brains out. I was screaming, "No, please, no, just please stop, Jesus. In the name of Jesus, stop." He was squeezing so hard it was difficult to breathe. He laid back and released his hold on me, so I jumped up, grabbed the rifle with the banana clip, and ran out the front door to hide the gun. I removed the banana clip and threw it on the carport. Tried to think where I could hide the rifle and put it back by the stairs in the house. I thought, out of view. I went back into the house to find my .380 to hide it in a different place. He came into the closet and asked me what I was hiding. I had stuck the .380 under the bathtub, but I still had the magazine in my hand. At some point, my phone was ringing. It was my son. I told him to call 911. He said he was on the way. I went and sat by the bed. Johnny sat on the cedar chest and was talking, asking me why I was getting all the texts. Why were people calling me? I said I have no idea. He asked me where his phone was. I said I don't know. I don't have your phone. He said, okay, then call it if you don't have it. I called it, and he went to his phone from the area where we scuffled. He was telling me that he is a step ahead of me. He said, your family was here and they know you were okay and I was okay. My family people don't know that. And when they find my dead body, your ass is going to jail. You will be the first suspect. He said, you don't love me. I hate you, you fucking bitch. You're never there for me when I need you. Only one person is, my brother. When they find my dead body, they'll take my phone, but only one person on this earth knows the code to unlock it. Blank. And she will never give it up because she knows, she has always known what I can finally see. You'll go to jail and I'll be dead. He read the Facebook post that he posted, which is why his family was calling. I was just trying to buy time while they could get help there. My son arrived, hollered, Mom! I said, we are back here. He ran into the room and tackled Jack/Johnny and was hitting him, saying, I told you what I'd do if you hurt my mom. I said, Andrew, get off of his back. Andrew took me outside to the front and into the truck, where he went into the gate and waited on the sheriff to arrive. I don't need to tell you what to think about those petitions. I don't need to tell you that you can look through an entire history of John Smith and find equally disturbing things. So when he tells me or tells the public that I was a media whore, that I am not a very good lawyer, that I was fired by the family, I accept whatever his accusation is just more desperation.
For those that don't know, I've had 2 hip surgeries in the last 3 years. And beyond that, I've had 3 back surgeries. I've had a neck surgery and 7 knee surgeries. So I have an artificial disc in my neck. I have 6 screws and 2 cages in my back. I have an artificial hip. And then the 7 knee surgeries is just from pounding the pavement. I did talk about boxing a certain someone, that I would like to get in the ring with a certain someone. And I was serious about that. I actually do want to do that. And when I talked about that in one of my previous videos, someone sent me an email and said, well, what about your hip? I don't need both hips for that. I could do it with one. Like when Tim Stark said he could whoop Jeff Lowe one-armed, I can kick someone's ass with one leg. I don't need both legs. It won't be like that, trust me. I just need minimum 6 rounds, minimum 2-minute rounds. I'd love 8 or 10 rounds and 3-minute rounds. But I'll settle for 6 rounds in 2 minutes. I'm just putting that out there. I'm serious. I'm serious. I want to get in the ring with that guy. I'm not joking. I'm not joking.
You know, Ripper, that armchair detective, I think he seriously wants to fight Joe Exotic's lawyer, John Phillips. So, hey, John, hey, Ripper, you guys want to fight? Let's get a promoter and let's do this.
I don't think it was any trolls. I think it was Ripper boxing out every single fucking person that had a little more clout than he did.